Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko number 412 DSL. This is an automatic door bottom with a sponge silicone insert shown in the dark bronze aluminum finish. I'll explain what that decal is for in a moment that I just partially peeled off. We'll leave the rest of that on there for right now. So this is an automatic door bottom. This is an automatic door bottom, and what those do are automatically seal the bottom of your door. And it's as simple as that. It's an automatic door bottom, meaning that when the door closes, you automatically are sealing the bottom of your door. Okay. The 412 is representative of this profile. This is a handed unit because it's asymmetrical, meaning that it's got this detail to the top of the unit that requires, as a result, it being something that can't be simply flipped over end for end, because you've got a certain amount of the preparation of the unit. A certain type of the prep is here, and the other end is different. So there's an attribute for you to select the handing, and there's also a chart down below this video that will allow you to review what the handing is and what we're calling the handing, how we're defining that. Now, the 412 material, that is going to be something that is going to be reviewed down below this video in the dimensional drawing that's there. So what I'm trying to say is the 412 specifically is 1 15/16 of an inch tall, down to the bottom of the housing, even though it appears to be slightly longer than that. Oh, forgive me, I'm measuring it incorrectly. The face of the body is what it is. The overall, not including this return lip, let's take a measurement of what that is. All the way down to the housing, it's about 2 1/8 inch. Now, the inevitable question that we get all the time is, what is the maximum drop that is permissible on units like that? And it is always to be considered, unless otherwise noted, about 3/4 inch. And in fact, that is the maximum drop that the 412 can be applied to as well. 3/4 inch would be the maximum drop. Now, let's go back. Automatic door bottoms. There are surface-mounted types like this. There are those that are that are mortised flush to the face of the door. Then there are those that are mortised up into the door, concealed completely. Then there are those that will install into an inverted bottom channel, like in a hollow metal door. This is obviously a surface mount model. The principle of an automatic door bottom is simply, again, when the door closes, the bottom is sealed automatically. The 412 is representative of this profile. The D is the dark bronze finish. You can order this also in the 412C for clear anodized aluminum, and 412G for gold anodized aluminum. You can also order this with a solid architectural bronze or brass faceplate, and onto which you can leave it mill, or you can do it satin or polished or oil rubbed. You can also get this with a stainless exterior, actual stainless steel as well. You'd go with a B SL for that, or an S SL for the stainless. So again, when the door closes, the bottom is sealed. And how it does that, we're going to go over in a moment. But why that would be advantageous would be, quite simply, when you have a floor or sill condition where having a surface-mounted door sweep applied to the face of the door does not solve the problem, because you might have a bump-up style threshold on an in-swinging door. Or where are you going to put the door sweep? Well, your only choice really is to put it on the inside, but don't you want that barrier of defense as close to the exterior as possible? And in that same scenario, you've got a door sweep now that could be potentially dragging across the floor. None of that really works. Enter automatic door bottoms, because they automatically drop when the door is closed to create that seal. When the door is in the open position, the seal is tucked back up into the housing. Let's demonstrate that. This unit is specifically set up to be a right-hand unit or also a left-hand reverse. But this would be a right-hand unit, meaning when you are facing this, viewing this video, this bolt, the plunger, which there is not one on the other side, is on your right. So in your perspective, the hinges are here, and the door can only swing this way as a right hand. When the door is in the open position, this spring-loaded plunger projects from the end of the housing, and the length of the projection is controlled by turning that clockwise or counterclockwise. The more that it sticks out, the more it has to be depressed when the door is closed, the more the drop is going to be affected, the greater distance you're going to drop. Okay, now, okay, so the automatic door bottom scenario is going to be as follows. We've pointed out that you've got the bolt on one side. This is always the hinge side of the door, always and without exception. The opposite side is always the lock side. If you were to trim this unit at all, and any units that are smaller than 3 foot, well, actually it's different with these. You cannot cut them down more than 2 inch, provided that it's longer than 24 inch. Anything, if you order one of these 24 inch or smaller, you can only trim them 1/2 inch. This can be cut down 2 inch, and you would only cut from the lock side, because you're going to, you have to avoid hitting any of the internal mechanisms that allow this unit to work. When the door is open, this bolt is sticking out. It's spring-loaded, but when the door closes, this makes contact with the jamb, which forces this to be pushed in naturally. And my hands are, of course, in the way, allowing that to drop. When that bolt is pushed in, and all I'm doing is manipulating that bolt to push this down, and I'm controlling it with my finger, because what happens is these do not drop evenly. What will happen is the hinge side will come down first when you depress the bolt. Okay? That is so that the hinge side will drop, because the door out here near the lock is still ajar. You don't want that to drop evenly and all at once, because the door is still in the closing cycle. That's why they knife down, because your door is closing, but your bottom is dropping like this. So it's really dropping in a circular fashion, so that the lock side of the automatic door bottom doesn't really make contact securely with the floor until the door is in the closed position. And that's the way that these are intended to operate. Okay. And that's an automatic door bottom in a nutshell. I think that they're incredibly advantageous to use, because you can have an in-swinging residential door and have a rug in front of the door. And when your door opens, you've got the undercut of the door such that you'll clear the rug, you know, the top of the threshold, and the rug is not taller than the threshold. So you can clear that. But when the door closes, the door bottom is, because it's tucked up into the housing, closes over that, gets to the door will get to the closed position, then it'll drop down to seal your door. Okay? And what I'm doing over here is I'm emulating what happens when the unit drops, but then counters the floor. It forces this side to drop as well, and that's how those work. Okay? You're going to get included with the hardware screws to attach it to the door. You're also going to get an end cap that you will apply to the face of the door so that you can dress this off on the lock side. And that end cap is just this angled piece of aluminum with a couple of small nails are included. And it will just, I've got it on the wrong side here, even though, oh, it's not handed, forgive me. Hello, I sell this for a living. It'll dress that off very neatly. Those two holes that you see there you will use the nails that are included in the package to secure it. There are 2 of those in there. Okay. Pemko is a comprehensive manufacturer of all things automatic door bottom related, and I would encourage you to review their entire line, which you can get to from their full line catalog. But the 412 is a very typical and common residential caliber item, and I think automatic door bottoms are simply not used nearly as often as they ought to be. Now, the balance of the part number, which is the SL, is your sponge spring insert. Sponge silicone insert. A very nice, durable piece of material made of silicone that's going to give you a tremendous ability to not only seal, but because it's sponge, will actually serve as a sound deadening material insert as well, because it's full of air pockets. Not that, you know, it's going to reduce the sound transmission significantly, but technically, because it's sponge type, it will work very well in that regard. There is a link below this video to the installation instructions where you can review how to go about doing this, installing this. Basically, because you are installing this, and almost all door bottoms are installed on the push side of the door, which is generally the exterior. You're going to stand on the outside. You're going to measure the distance between the stops, deduct 1/8 of an inch, and that's the net size of your unit. I very much recommend that you order it the size that you need so that you don't have to be bothered with having to trim it down whatsoever at all. So if you had, it doesn't matter what the net door size is. It doesn't. It doesn't matter how big the frame is. It doesn't. It doesn't matter how thick the stops are. It doesn't. Just close the door, measure the distance between the stops, take off 1/8, that's the size. And the other things don't matter because they're all variables. Net door width, therefore frame size, therefore rough opening size, how thick the stops are. That's all variable based on the frame type, you know, what the material it's made of, how it was constructed, etc. Installation is simple. Reversing hand instructions are also given if you need to do that, and it's very likely that you might need to. But we ask that you tell us the hand of the door so it can be sent out properly. How to trim the unit down is again is referenced there as well. And then finally that handing chart. Now regarding the other automatic door bottoms from Pemko, you can find that material from the link to the manufacturer's page below this video, where you can pull up not only all of the Pemko products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. And you can search out all the automatic door bottoms that you see there. If you have any questions on the Pemko, this is their part number 412 DSL, automatic door bottom, or any other Pemko product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much.